Yeah, ain't shit sweet, ain't shit funny. Look, it's blue tints on my hundreds. Life been going how I want it. Yeah. Life been lit just how I want it. Yeah, yeah. Now she talking like she want me. Yeah, hey, wave.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Cold Hard Football Facts Show for August 17th, 2022. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's ready to talk some NFL football, guys. We're almost there. Less than a month until the regular season begins. Very excited about that. We have week 2 of the preseason kicking off this weekend, so could not be more excited from a betting perspective and just from a news talk perspective as well. So hopefully we can bet a little bit. Again, I'm not a huge preseason bettor. I try to stay away from it because I do think it's tough to bet on the preseason. There are cappers out there. There are people on TikTok who give picks, people on YouTube who give picks. I mean, mainstream media doesn't necessarily talk about it as much, but there are people who bet those games. We have played some bets in preseason. We've been successful there. So we're going to keep it going this weekend. Again, we can talk about that as we get closer to the slate starting tomorrow. We'll break down the Thursday games, break down the Friday games there. We don't do this show on the weekdays. We only do this show, or we don't do the show on the weekends. We only do the show Monday through Friday. The betting show, obviously, at 10 a.m. is always there 7 days a week, people. How we doing? Montgomery, keep it rolling. I think Montgomery keeps it rolling tonight, guys. Again, we're going to be on at 1 o'clock for the Nerfy. We can talk baseball in there. We'll talk our Nerfy as well. We get the 10 a.m. betting show. Make sure you show up for the 10 a.m. betting show. We talk baseball every day on there. Not opposed to answering baseball question on here. We're going to keep it NFL football for now, though. We have a lot of news. Yesterday was a slow news day. Today is a big news day. A lot of injuries happening around the league. Texans over the Rams. Book it. Texans over the Rams. Texans, damn. That's a bit of a stretch. I have the Nerfy for the Twins game today. Twins, Mariners, Guardians, Mets, and Cards +7. Shawnee, you put that in there so many damn times. I know. I like it. You showed me. But anyways, guys, before we get into it, make sure you check out all the links in my bio. Check out Cold Hard Football Facts. Start your free trial today. This is the #1 stats to help you win money this NFL season. Unique, quality, proprietary stats that only we have and only we can deliver to you guys to help us win money. This is like, I'm so pumped to be working for this company because these are the stats that I've used for so long. I've been a subscriber to this platform for so long. So I'm pumped about actually getting to use it. Redskins money line, baby. There we go. No more Commanders. There you go. Are you doing Nerfy this afternoon? Yes, guys. Nerfy at 1 o'clock. Nerfy at 1 o'clock. Just an hour from now. 1:10, we're going to go live. 1:05 for that Twins Nerfy. Boss, good morning. How we doing, Mr. Hernandez? How we doing? No way Rams win. That opener against the Rams and the Bills is going to be interesting. I think Rams +2.5 could be a good move there based on all the numbers right now. I mean, they're at home. They're the Super Bowl champs. The Bills got to fly across the country, and we don't know what we're getting from the Bills. A lot of hypes around the Bills, right? But there's no guarantees they're going to be the best team in football. Okay, people, come on now. Shawnee's putting the laughing faces in there. I'm glad I can make you laugh. Fairy Play finally lost 6-1. Chef UTD money. Sean, no. We can't be talking soccer on the Cold Hard Football Facts show. Come on now. What's the NFL site stats? It's Cold Hard Football Facts. So go up, link in the bio. You can start your free trial. You can check it out. We're getting a new website. The website's going to be done like next week. It's going to be revamped. But if you start your free trial now, you still get you can still see everything that you're going to get. Nerfy, actually, yes. Nerfy at 1 o'clock, Twins game, guys. And you can also see all my plays as well. If you go in the link in my bio, you can see the Pickett app. So go up to the Pickett app. You can see all my parlays. I know I give you plays on here too. I play those, but I also play other stuff in that Pickett app. So make sure you go check that out. Use promo code Kern to sign up. Bills, good pickup, good rookie running back. I agree with that 100%. Bills need to run the football this year. That's the way they're going to win games. They need to command the run game and throw it, right? Josh Allen can run the ball, but they need that supporting guy to do it from the running back position so they can open up the passing game. It goes hand in hand, guys. AK Fall, the host. Is it football or football show? Football show, not football. Football show. Football show. No soccer on it. Sean, you can come on the 10 a.m. show and talk about soccer. You can't come on the football show dedicated to NFL football and talk soccer. Don't be doing that to me. Sitting in Baltimore Airport watching the show. I love it, LJ. I love it. LJ, what time's the plane takeoff? You're going to be live for the Nerfy at 1 o'clock? Come on now. Brady and Rodgers going to get exposed this season. No great receivers. I wouldn't say that at all. I think Brady's still in pretty good shape. Brady lost Gronk, obviously, but I still think he's in good shape. And Aaron Rodgers is already firing up the receiving core. We're going to talk about the comments that he made the other day regarding the young receivers there. But just because he loses Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers was the MVP, and he didn't have Davante Adams for the majority of the season last year. What do you guys say to that? What do we say to that, people? Packers win the division. The Packers are the authority in the NFC North. There's no doubt about it. We're going to talk about the NFC North today. You guys always read my mind. You always read my mind. You know the topics that we're talking about before we even get into it. Hey, Tanner, you like Phillies and Cubs moneyline parlay today? Go for it. Colts are winning it all. That's a stretch. I don't know if they'll win it all. I think they're going to be very good in the run game. Obviously, with Matt Ryan in there working play action too, I think it's going to be a good combo. Brady downfall will be O-line. I agree with that. I think Brady's downfall could be the O-line, but it's Tom Brady too. The reason he's been so successful, the reason he's been in this league so long is because of his ability to get rid of the football, right? So I think even with a young offensive line, even with guys that necessarily aren't the best offensive linemen in the world because of injuries right now, I think they're going to be just fine. Steelers going to turn heads this year. Kevin, you know what? I don't think that's a bad take. I think the Steelers are going to be good on defense. If they can figure out their offense, they're going to be just fine. I don't think they're a playoff team by any means, but I think the future is bright in Pittsburgh. Let's see here. And I'm a Bears fan, Mr. Big Shot. The Bears are in rough shape. We ranked Justin Fields last in our second-year quarterback rankings, and we're going to have a TikTok video out on that today. Mets, Braves, Nerfy, under 7.5, Padres, moneyline, Cubs, first 5, George Pickens, top 10 receiver, or is this too bold? I think that's way too bold. I think that's a big-time overreaction, but George Pickens was sensational in his preseason opener, but I think that's a massive, massive, massive overreaction. What do you guys think? I mean, listen, guys, George Pickens is going to be good, but also who's throwing the football too? You got to think about that as well. Great receivers are made with great quarterbacks. Not like in the shirt, LOL. I'll fix the shirt. Okay? I'll fix the shirt. I was going to put the suit jacket on, but it's hump day, or the sport coat. It's hump day, guys. We got to stay a little casual this year. Mac for MVP is a bit of a stretch. My top receivers in my ranking, at least, Cooper Kupp, number 1. Jamar Chase, I have him at 2 over Justin Jefferson. I think they're all top-tier ranked guys. But when you look at Justin Jefferson, there's too much unpredictability what you're getting from Kirk Cousins this year. And also, if Dalvin Cook goes down for the Vikings, that's also going to hurt Justin Jefferson. It's all connected. It's all tied together, even though it's run game and pass game. The two are complementary, right? The run game opens up the pass game. So if I see Dalvin Cook going down, Justin Jefferson suffers a little bit there. And then Jamar Chase, obviously, I got to put him ahead just because he's got Joe Burrow on his side. Joe Cool, we love Joe Cool. He's going to make plays all over the field this year, and he's back from his emergency appendectomy. Then you got Devontae Adams. I put him up there. Stephon Diggs, Debo, CD, Tyreek. I put Mike Evans above Tyreek, but those would be my top like 10 guys. Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, Debo Samuel, Mike Evans, CD Lamb, Tyreek Hill. Those would be my top guys. And I am slightly afraid of putting CD Lamb there. I know he's going to have a big season. They're going to beat teams over the top. But with the run game in Dallas, like, they need to be effective running the football. If they're not, this coaching staff's going to get blown out before the end of the season. What superstar do you think will take a step back this year? What superstar will take a step back? I don't think it's going to be a guy like a Mac Jones who come off a good year. What do you mean, like a sophomore guy taking a step back? Lions over 9, Lions under. That's, you're saying under 8 wins. I think 8. I think they go over 5.5. I think they go over their total there. What superstar do you think will take a step back this year? I don't know. I got to do some more research on that. I mean, I think there's a good amount. You know what I'm going to say right now? I'm going to be bold. And I'm going to say I think Tyreek Hill takes a step back. I think Tyreek Hill could take a step back just because of Tua. Oh, bit of a stretch. We're having some technical difficulties with the thing, but I think Tua could be that guy that causes Tyreek Hill to maybe not be as efficient. Tanner, should I nerf the first game starts in 15? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that Phillies game. Fun fact, Kirk Cousins, 94, 26 touchdowns, 94 touchdowns, 26 inch ratio in pass rate. He's good, guys, but he can't win the close games. That's Kirk Cousins' biggest critique, right? When it comes down to it, when it comes to winning close games, when the game's on the line, we're going to break this down in a minute here, he doesn't find a way to win, people. What do you think about Kansas City? Guys, no baseball quit. Baseball's at 10. Come on now. Baseball's at 10. Raiders are that team this season. But Kansas City Twins, I'd probably lean under on that. Drake London is going to be a monster this season. I agree with that. Drake London's going to be very good. I'm calling Pickens the next AB in a year or two, and that's not crazy, AB. There we go. I think Pickens is going to be very good. I do. I don't think he's a top 10 this year by any means. Steelers, let's have him go. Steelers are going to be good, guys. Bears, Seahawks thoughts. I mean, you mean at the opener for them? No. Let me see something. Just in general, we talking preseason. Do they play each other this week in preseason? I want to make sure I got your, let's see, NFL preseason, Bears Seahawks. Okay, you're talking about the preseason game. I think you got to lean towards the Seahawks, in my opinion. I think, you don't have Drew Lock, but I do think Geno Smith gets a little more time. They're at home. Falcons are going to be awful. They are. Mariota is going to be awful. I think Vikings winning the Central. Vikings going to win the National League or NFC North. I don't think they will. Joe Mixon will be a top 3 running back this year with the approved offensive line. I agree with that. Bears Seahawks thoughts. I take Seahawks -3.5. Again, guys, it's the preseason. It's tough to cap. But anyways, guys, let's get into the news stories around the league. We're going to burn through this stuff pretty quickly today. And then we got a few big topics. We're talking Aaron Rodgers. We're going to talk about the Vikings win the NFC North. And then we're going to answer your questions, talk about Ramondre Stevenson and the Patriots run game as well. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you drop a comment in there. Say hi. Let's see what we're doing here. Is it possible for the Falcons to win more than 5 games? I think it's going to be tough playing in the NFC South, but we can look at that right now real quick. I think it's going to be tough playing in the NFC South, though, when you got Brady twice and you got Jameis and the Saints twice. Not that the Saints are anything special, but, you got they're okay. They're a reputable franchise, right? Regular season, you open with the Saints. I'm going to say it's a loss. You go to the Rams, that's a loss. The Seahawks, you could beat. Browns. Everything's going wrong for them right now. So let's just give them that. In a perfect world, let's give them 2 straight wins. You're going to lose to the Bucs. You're going to lose to the Niners. You're going to lose to the Bengals. I imagine you're going to lose to the Panthers at that point in the season once. You're going to split with the Panthers. So let's give them 3 wins right there. They're going to lose to the Chargers. You're going to beat the Bears. That's your 4th win right there. Commanders, Steelers, they could do it. I mean, they could do it depending on how they're playing. They got some young, dynamic guys there that can do a lot for you. It just depends how they mesh together as a team. I probably, based on the schedule, I think five's a pretty good number. Pittman, AJ Brown, or Higgins. I mean, AJ Brown, you just don't know. You don't know what you're going to get out of Jalen Hurts this year. I mean, Jalen Hurts is a top tier fantasy quarterback. You just don't know what you're going to get. I think Pittman's going to be effective in the. I think Pittman's going to be effective in the play action game for the Colts. Higgins, we always know he's playing for Joe Burrow. He's going to be good. They have an awful defense. I agree with that. They do, but I'm just saying games that they have the ability to win, games that they like out of games on paper that say, hey, this is a game that they could go into and win. Because that's what you got to do when you're looking at win totals. That's a possibility. Rand Dizzle just followed the host. I appreciate that. So let's talk about Drew Lock, people, right now. Drew Lock tests positive for COVID-19. Now, we talk about a bad team. It's the Seattle Seahawks. Vic Fangio is probably watching the Seahawks and understanding what Pete Carroll's going through right now with this whole quarterback debacle. In what world are we going to take Drew Lock and Geno Smith and put them against each other for a starting quarterback competition? I know the franchise has bigger views down the road, right? Next year's quarterback class coming out of college is sensational. But this year, it's going to be a little rough for the Seattle Seahawks, no matter if Drew Lock or Geno Smith is leading the team. Now, Lock was scheduled to start the preseason game tomorrow night. He will not do that. It'll probably be Geno Smith now. I'm not sure what Pete Carroll said. Smith's only 13-21 as a starter. It's amazing, though, we see these guys like these first-round draft picks, like a Geno Smith, where the system ruined Geno Smith. I didn't think much of him coming out of West Virginia personally, but playing for the Jets ruined him, right? Then he quickly became a career backup, not good as a starter. Locke has not been great overall his career. I mean, the only thing he's done is he led the league in interceptions with 15 in 2020. He's 8-13 as a starter. Drew Lock's not good either. So the Seahawks team, I mean, this is the one team in the NFC West that everyone should hammer. And I think when we look at the NFC West as a whole, the Seahawks are important to talk about too, because that winning NFC West team, it might come down to who beats up the Seahawks. And I think a lot of teams are going to be doing that. But if the Seahawks, for example, if the Seahawks steal one against the Rams, not saying that's going to happen, but it's football, right? They steal one against the Rams. If they steal one against the Niners, right? It's a different ball game in that division, right? So I think it's going to come down to who beats up this Seahawks team. I think the future is bright there. Trading Russell or getting rid of Russell Wilson, trading Russell Wilson away was the right move for a rebuild down the road. But this team is not set up to win. But it's important to talk about Drew Lock because he is a starting quarterback, which is absolutely crazy. Shawnee, I see it. Bears, Seahawks, I see it. Take the Seahawks, -3.5. That's what I think. Bears wins over for the season. I don't know what the total's at right now, and I don't have it in front of me. But if I had to take, if I was sitting here and I was threatened by something that someone's like, oh, you got to make a pick right now. I'm going to say that the Bears are going to go under their win total because they don't have much of an offensive line. Their defense is going to struggle. Roquan Smith is probably not going to be there, or he's not going to play. And then Justin Fields is great, but the weapons and targets and it's not a good situation. And it's a new coaching staff, guys. I think we undervalue how much continuity means to a franchise. You look at Bill Belichick, right? You look at all these guys that have been there. Andy Reid. Why are those teams successful? Because the culture is automatically built in, right? Now, if we're talking about the Bears, right, it's a brand new front office, it's a brand new coaching staff. That makes a difference. Now, this coaching staff has to clean up the mess from the last coaching staff. And that's why they're not necessarily focused on winning. So I feel bad for Justin Fields personally because he's really in an unwinnable position. When you look at everything, continuity is so important to an NFL franchise. It's important in college, right? Why has Nick Saban been successful? Because he's built his culture there year in, year out. It's the same thing in the NFL. You look at Tom Brady and the Patriots, that dynasty with Bill Belichick, right? That was continuity. It was there for years, and that's why they were able to be successful. The Patriot way is a thing because there hasn't been changes in New England from the top down for a long, long time. So when we look at these new teams with new coaches coming in, it's not an easy task to win. You look at the Bears, new front office, new head coach. They got to fix the messes that were made from the last one before they even worry about winning football games, right? Because if you can't fix the internal issues, you're never going to win. So these new coaching staffs, everyone's high on like teams with new coaching staffs. You look at the Vikings, right? They got to go through a whole new coaching staff as well. Mike Zimmer was there for years. They're changing their defense up, and people expect them to win a division over Green Bay. It takes time. It takes time to build continuity, to build a culture, and it doesn't just happen right away. So when I see this and people are picking teams with new first-year head coaches and new front offices to win, it doesn't necessarily make sense to me because that should factor into your bet when taking a win total, in my opinion. What do you guys think in the chat? Let me know. Johnson will trade team INR, probably a Saints fan. Who's a Saints fan? The King. He won 2 rings with no receivers. Over. Okay. Is going to be exposed. Ain't shit. Bears win over. So yeah, guys, when we look at that, I think when we look at all that stuff, when we put it all together, right, like continuity is so important for a franchise. That's why like the Seahawks, they're going to have a very down year this year because they don't have that continuity. Russell Wilson was the Seahawks along with Pete Carroll, right? But Drew Lock is now the Seahawks, or Geno Smith. From what we're seeing, this COVID injury, I guess, pretty much automatically, shows that this COVID injury pretty much sums up the fact that Geno Smith's going to be the starting quarterback there. So we got that. Let's move on to the Browns. Let's talk about the Browns, guys. Everything is going wrong with the Browns. Have we heard what's going on with Browns camp? Looking good for Watson. He needs to play this year. We riot. Ryan, it's not looking bad for Watson, honestly. I think the NFL and him are coming to a settlement. So from what we're hearing right now, it's like 10 games. Still a lot. Because I think Watson and the NFL, or Watson and the Player Association, like heard that it was going to be an automatic slam dunk, and they're trying to settle. When we look at this whole situation, it's an automatic mess, though. The Browns, if you're Kevin Stefanski right now, you must be just in your office every day like this. Like, what am I doing? Like, what is life coaching for the Cleveland Browns? Because this team seems cursed. Now you just lost your starting center, Nick Harris. And that's a big, big issue because Harris is a guy that was going to be able to help them run the football and protect the quarterback. So now whether, it's Deshaun Watson or Jacoby Brissett, you don't have your starting center. That's a problem, right? Harris was going to take over for J.C. Tretter, who was released by the Browns after 5 seasons. Deshaun Watson, you don't know what you're doing there, so that affects your practice reps too, guys. Like, that affects everything that goes into the season. And on top of that, you also lost Jakeem Grant last year to a torn Achilles, and now he's going to miss the whole season. He's a Pro Bowl returner. So you keep these little nicks, these little nicks are going to hurt this team overall. And Deshaun Watson not being back, like what are you going to get out of Deshaun Watson when he does come back after missing 10 weeks? That's almost 2 years of football missed from him. So it's like I just don't think Wyatt Teller, best O-lineman. But still, losing a starting center, that's going to hurt you. That's going to hurt you a lot. I'm thinking placing 1K bet on Cardinals money line. Cardinals money line tonight, go for it. McCole Hardman carted off the field at practice. Damn, I was actually listening to NFL radio, and they said there was bad news out of Chiefs camp. And if that is the news, that would be very bad for the Chiefs because McCole Hardman is that speedy guy that can do something and kind of not replace Tyreek Hill, right? But when you had Hill and Hardman together, it was money. So Hardman was going to have to move into that slot receiver number 1 role there. So that's pretty devastating. What's up, Daddy? How we doing? Freeline Skate School. How we doing, guys? How we doing? Cleveland not going to make the playoffs. I think when we look at all the issues that they're having, I would say no, Cleveland is not going to make the playoffs based on everything. I mean, if you don't have Deshaun Watson until week 10 after missing 10 games, right, it's not going to work out good. Mahomes wants more money. He wants contract fixed. Mahomes does want more money. No, Mahomes already signed a big deal. He got paid. He went down, tried to walk off, and then jumped on the cart, calling it a groin injury. Is it actually what McCole Hardman carted off field at practice? A groin injury. Oh, that's fine. White Sox money line. You're welcome. Thanks, TC Link. I didn't ask you, but I appreciate that. Okay, so yeah, just a lot of things going wrong for the Browns right now. A lot of things going wrong for the Panthers as well. Bradley Bozeman left Tuesday's joint practice against New England. This was the guy who's going to be penciled in to start at center. He started 48 of 49 games for the Baltimore Ravens over the past 3 seasons, so he knows how to block in a dynamic offense. This Panthers offense could be very dynamic behind Christian McCaffrey, behind hopefully Baker Mayfield. That's who we're all pulling for, right? Sam Darnold could be the guy, but you never know. It seems like it's going to be Baker Mayfield. But when I look at this Panthers team, I don't see much either. I don't see a lot of upside with this Panthers team, no matter what, with these injuries. Like the Panthers are 2 teams that are like almost cursed. Hey, Tanner, pro athletes causing inflation, $50 million a year. Well, I know it's crazy. I think when you look at the Browns and you look at the Panthers, these are 2 franchises that are kind of like, on a bad track right now, I would say overall. Panthers don't have a starting quarterback. It's going to be Baker Mayfield. Most likely, I'm not saying this to wish any harm on anyone. But when you look at Christian McCaffrey, what makes you think he's going to stay healthy this year? I mean, I think he has a good chance, right? But like the past 2 seasons have been automatic injuries. So what makes you think Christian McCaffrey is going to stay healthy? And what makes you think Matt Rule is going to be able to turn this team around? Matt Rule's on pace for a midseason getting fired kind of track. That's where he's at right now. So that's another thing you got to watch out for with the Panthers and with their win totals when you're talking betting and stuff. I'd probably stay away from this Panthers team as a whole. Bozeman going down really is going to hurt them when it comes to running the ball, when it comes to protecting. Centers are critical, guys. Like that's the one thing that I think if you don't like pay attention to football as much, you don't know that, like how critical centers are. They call the offense, they call the front, right? They call protection, they do all this stuff. It takes pressure, alleviates pressure off quarterback. So, for the Panthers losing Bozeman and then for the Browns losing Nick Harris, it makes a huge difference. He's going to stay healthy because he's on my fantasy team. Simple, really. There you go, guys. And I've been on the losing end of the whole Christian McCaffrey fantasy debacles over the past 2 seasons. It's not been fun, so I can relate to that. But let's hope he stays healthy, right? Let's hope. So we got Bozeman. We want to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk about the NFC North a little bit. I think we can pretty much agree that the NFC North is a 2-horse race right now. It's not a 3-horse race. It's a 2-horse race between the Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. What do you guys think? Do the Packers have a chance of losing this division? Do the Packers? Because I think honestly, it's the Packers division to lose. Aaron Rodgers. That's what it comes down to. What do you guys think? Let me know. How about Sam Howell, Washington's quarterback of the future? I don't think so. No, I don't think so at all. He going to stay healthy because he's on my fantasy team? Got that? Yeah, doubt it. No, David. Yeah, I would not say Sam Howell's the quarterback of the future for the Washington Commanders. Now, you know who is the quarterback of the future for the Green Bay Packers over the next few seasons? Aaron Rodgers. So I turn you on and you say beautiful words. Go Pack, go. Go Pack, go. Parlay family. How you doing? Browns second in the division. I think that could be a stretch for them in the AFC North. The AFC North's really good, guys. You got the Baltimore Ravens and you have the Bengals. It's going to be a good division. Browns. If it was a perfect world, I think the Browns will be okay. It's not a perfect world. Everything's going wrong for this Browns team right now. But anyways, guys, let's talk about the Packers, and then we'll segue that into the Vikings and their chances to win the division. So I have a quote here. From Aaron Rodgers. He said that the most reliable guys will get the nod when it comes to the regular season. And that's because his young receivers are not stepping up. And Romeo Doubs is one of those guys that he was taking shots at. He basically said these guys were sloppy in practice and joint practice. They were sloppy in the preseason opener, and they haven't been delivering. They got to run crisper routes. They got to catch the football. And when Aaron Rodgers come out and said this, I think people are going to listen, right? Because he's that kind of guy that people listen to. He's been there. He's done that. I mean, he loses in the NFC Championship game pretty much every time. But he's still that guy that can go out and say something and people are going to listen. But when I look at the receiving core for Green Bay, is it good enough to win games? And I'm going to say yes, it is. You have Alan Lazard, you have Randall Cobb, you have Sammy Watkins, you have guys that are veterans that know how to do this. If you can find some productive young guys to come into the mix and make some plays for you, I think you're going to be okay. Just because they lose Devontae Adams does not mean this team is not the favorite to win the division. It's like the Chiefs in the AFC West, right? The Chiefs are the authority in the AFC West. The Green Bay Packers are the authority in the NFC North. There's those teams that's the team. Like it's like the Patriots over the AFC East dynasty, right? They were the Patriots. We knew going into the season, it's the Patriots. Do I think the NFC North is going to be a little more contested this year with the Vikings? Maybe. But again, they got to go through a rebuild as well with a new coach. Not a rebuild. I mean, they're built to win. It's the same team, but it's a new coaching staff. Mike Zimmer was always there, right? This new coaching staff could be money for them, but I think it's probably going to take a little time too. So overall, I mean, I got to pick Aaron Rodgers to lead this team to a division title. And him coming out right now saying this is good. It's a good sign for Green Bay fans. It's a good sign for bettors because he's getting it right. He's not allowing this to drag into the season. We know Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, Sammy Watkins get the majority of the touches there, but what's the young guy's going to do? He's fixing it right now. Hopefully they come out, they play a little better, they find that young guy that can mix in with those upper three, and they make some money for us. What do you guys think? Defense improving for the Pack. I agree with that. Vikes won't win 10 games. I would hammer the under on the Vikings. Hammer the under on the Vikings. Browns second in the division. Browns second division stretch. If Kirk can play well in the clutch, yes, because Aaron Rodgers brings his air trash teammates down. Nope. Vikes won't win 10 games. They might not play for him, though. D improving for the Pack. Packers haters out this year. Week 1 going to show a lot of people. Yeah, guys, Packers are like, everyone's freaking out because Davante Adams. Calm down. Aaron Rodgers won an MVP basically without Davante Adams. Aaron Rodgers is what, a three-time MVP, back-to-back MVPs. And the media doesn't like him. That just shows how well he played last year. The media doesn't like him. Still found a way to win the MVP. Love our beautiful coach, but still don't understand the Love pick. Oh, Love, Jordan Love, man. And you know what, Jordan Love, too, that's not a reliable backup. So you guys better hope Aaron Rodgers stays healthy. But Jordan, we talked about Jordan Love the other day. Like, he's in the best situation possible, playing for the Packers, backing up Aaron Rodgers. He's in a great spot. He just can't deliver, right? Now, I did not like that he threw his interceptions in the game, but apparently, though, a lot of those were on the receivers. He had 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. For you to throw 3 interceptions in a preseason game, you got to try pretty hard to do that, right? So just, yeah, Love's terrible. There we go. We agree with that. We lost because we targeted Adams so much. There you go, Parlay family. There you go. Again, I think you guys got to find a way to win the NFC Championship game, and you got your home playoff games past couple seasons. You couldn't do it, right? Go listen to the interview on Pardon My Take with Big Cat and Aaron Rodgers. I thought that was pretty funny, but it's true. Like, everything they were busting on Aaron for, he can't win the big game. Okay, so let's keep it going here. Vikings. Let's talk about the Vikings. Let's break down the Vikings. I'm not breaking down the Vikings to win the division because I don't think they have anything to do with winning the division. I don't think we can even bring them in the same sentence as winning the division with the Green Bay Packers because it's the Packers. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's still the best team in the NFC North. But when we look at this Vikings team, Kevin O'Connell, new guy coming in here, first-year head coach, brings a Super Bowl pedigree from the Rams, right? Everyone, it's called the Sean McVay effect. Everyone wants a little piece of Sean McVay. I want to bring young guys in from the Rams organization to hopefully grow my team to a Super Bowl contender, right? And that's what the Vikings need because Mike Zimmer has not been the guy. Mike Zimmer, old defense, 4-3 kind of defense, right? We're shifting to a 3-4, a dynamic 3-4 now with the Vikings. I think that's going to be good. But again, it's going to take some time to implement, guys. Keep that in mind. Cousin's a good QB. I think that's a bit of a stretch. Is Cousin a stat patter? Yeah, he's a great fantasy quarterback. He is a stat patter. But when it comes down to it, when I need a guy to go 80 yards in 2 minutes and win me a football game, we've seen it time and time again that Kirk Cousins will not deliver. In the fourth quarter, Cousins is not the guy that you want playing quarterback for you. You know who I want in the fourth quarter in the NFC North at least? Aaron freaking Rodgers. All right? I think this team's going to be good. They're going to be okay, right? They're going to show improvements throughout the year. But this Vikings team is not anything close to a NFC championship style team, in my opinion. You have Justin Jefferson, rising superstar. We know that. He's going to be a Cooper Kupp in the coming seasons. He will be that good. I mean, he's already a top-tier fantasy receiver. Then you got other guys in that lineup too. But the bottom line is, what are you going to get out of your running backs? Are they going to be able to stay healthy? That's another question too. And if that doesn't happen, you're in trouble. In my opinion, at least, you're in a lot of trouble. If they can run the ball, I think it'll be okay with Kirk Cousins. But when we look at everything, when we look at the whole situation here, it's not going to end well for this team. When you got to go against you got to go against Green Bay. You got to beat Green Bay head to head. I just don't see them doing that this year. It's basically the same team from last year that couldn't win in the clutch. So what makes you think this new coach is going to be able to do it in his first season there? I don't think so. Damn, New Alpha, we got that. Cousins, good QB. Are you man of the people? Yes, sir. Of course I am, Reed. You rolling into this live in Nerfy Live? No, I'm going to do a new stream for that. Got to run the ball to keep the D's honest. You do. You have to run the ball. You have to run the ball to keep the defense honest. And here's my biggest fear with the Vikings. When I look at everything and I look at Dalvin Cook, is he going to be able to stay healthy, right? If Dalvin Cook can't stay healthy, you're in trouble. That's all it comes down to. Guys, it's literally as simple as that. New coach, Sean McVay effect, bring a guy in from LA, right? It makes perfect sense. But in the core of the problem is the Vikings gave up a lot of points on defense last year. Is the new defense going to be able to help that? Maybe, right? They're going to be more dynamic, but it's still the same personnel. And then on top of that, you got Dalvin Cook. Can he stay healthy? If he doesn't, well, that puts more pressure on Kirk Cousins. It puts more pressure on Justin Jefferson to get open, Adam Thielen. It's not going to end well if they can't run the football and if this new coaching staff cannot teach this team how to win the fourth quarter. And it's a first-year head coach. It's a new first-year head coach. Again, if Bill Belichick goes to the Cleveland Browns, I think we're going to give the Browns a few more points, right? Or if he goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars, we're going to give that team a few more points. It might take a while because he's got to build the culture there. But what do we think of Kevin O'Connell? We don't know anything about Kevin O'Connell. He's 37 years old. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams. He never called plays with the Rams. That was Sean McVay's job. But he's got that Sean McVay culture. So we think that's going to convert to a Super Bowl. Not always. That's not how it happens. I think young coaches is the way to go in the NFL. It's definitely different than Mike Zimmer, who was not really a player's coach. He was a hard-nosed guy, and it showed. It showed with his coaching style. But it's a new regime. It's going to take time. I don't think this is the year to do it. Could the Vikings win the NFC North in the coming seasons? Of course they could. Aaron Rodgers is probably going to decline a little bit. We got to keep that in mind. Devontae Adams, it could be a big loss for him. But overall, when I look at this Vikings team, this year is not their year. And I think everyone can agree with that. We're talking about the win total. I'm hammering the under of 9.5. 9.5 is an under central for me personally. I mean, the under I think is minus 122 right now. The over is plus 110. For this team to win 10 games, it's really going to take a lot. It's going to take them beating Green Bay head to head consistently. I don't know if it can happen. It's going to take Green Bay losing as well and hitting them on down weeks. What do you guys think? Let me know. Commander Nation followed the host. Thank you. Kevin O'Connell, Sean McVay, all former members of the Commander National. There you go. You like that. Watson's the best quarterback in the division. Ryan, you were a big Deshaun Watson guy. Big Deshaun Watson. Watson was fine. Schwartz dropped 2 of Watson's incompletions. He did not play well in that beginner. Is that your lucky Nerfy shirt? No, this is the football shirt. The Nerfy shirt's coming out here in a minute. In the NFC East, I want Carson Wentz at crunch time. But I want Dak. If I had to pick a quarterback, I want Dak in crunch time. I don't want Carson Wentz. Do I sleep in socks? No, I don't. I used to. I don't know why, but I did. A little freaky, right? Are you the man of the people? Reed, I am the man of the people. Follow the page. Commanders, my team. Wait a couple of years. I don't know. I think they got to figure out what their damn name is before they try to win football games. Nerfy time. Let's go, guys. Nerfy, not Nerfy. We're not Nerfying the Phillies. Don't Nerfy the Phillies. I think you should Yerfy that Phillies game. We're going to go. We're not rolling live in a baseball. No round. We're going to stop, and then we're going to come back on at 1:05. So I'll be done here in 5 minutes, and then we'll move on. So we got that. All right, final topic here. Talk about the Patriots. Look for Ramondre Stevenson to have a bigger role this year with them. It's kind of similar to what the Patriots did with Sony Michel shipping him off. I think Damian Harris is probably at the end of his tenure with the Patriots. He's in a contract season. Will he get re-signed? Who knows? But Ramondre Stevenson is that young physical running back that did a lot for the team last year when he was in. The one fear with Stevenson was him showing up late and fumbling the football. We heard of that a few times last year, and that caused him to be a healthy scratch for a lot of games. But when he's healthy, there's a lot of things he can do. Bill Belichick's raving about him. Ramondre's done a good job improving his pass game skills, starting with blitz pickup and protection. They lost James White, obviously. White retired, so Ramondre Stevenson could be that guy to fill in the passing game. And personally, I think he's just as good of a runner as Damian Harris. I think he can do a lot for you in the run game. So expect for him to be on the field a lot. Now, the Patriot way, though, is, hey, let's filter a ton of running backs in. But Ramondre Stevenson could be receiving the majority of the carries by the end of the season. And I'm not going to say I don't think this is I think because the Patriots, the way they play football with multiple running backs, they would keep Damian Harris, but Damian Harris could be good trade bait towards the middle of the season if they needed to go that way. Because I think Stevenson's the future until they get to a point where they don't need him anymore, because it's happened to a lot of running backs in New England. Stevenson caught 14 of 18 passes last year as a rookie for 123 yards. Again, he was not on the field as much because he was a healthy scratch early in the season. He did come alive late. He had some big games, but still they were splitting time between James White and Damian Harris. I think this year is the year that he receives the majority of the carries. Patriots were 5th in our offensive rusher rating metrics last year. They did a good job running the football. I think the same thing is going to be the case this year, because that opens up Mac Jones to be successful. But look for Ramondre Stevenson to have some value when it comes to fantasy football, maybe in a flex option this year. Comment about the AFC East rolling in. Shawnee, I'm not ignoring you, Shawnee. You just put the damn same comments in there. Socks are not needed to sleep. No, they're not. Good, great coach. Who's the Pats' top receiver? That's the biggest question. I don't think they freaking have any. when I look at the Patriots receiving core, it's just not good. That's all it comes down to. Who do you guys think that the top receiver for the Patriots is? If I had to pick someone, I mean, probably Kendrick Bourne, Jacoby Myers, Devontae Parker. I see them all kind of even, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think anyone stands out. Like, there's nobody on the team receiving wise where I'm like, hey, I want that guy catching the football. But again, that's not their game too. Bills to the Super Bowl, probably. Bills take division easily. Going to be a race between Fins and Pats for second. I agree with that. They're going to both fight for a wild card spot. I see the A's just sent Elvis Andrews packing. Really, no shit. Miami has the team to take second, but I think Tua isn't good enough to lead that team. I agree with that. Mac Jones, good developing quarterback. I agree with that as well. I think both guys are going to be good this year. I think Mac Jones does have the better season than Tua. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on Tua this year. Like the whole circumstance for him, like he needs to step up. This needs to be his year. I think they're going to go a different way, especially with the new quarterback, new coaching staff in there that's offensive minded. You brought in Tyreek Hill. You brought in guys on offense. You brought in guys on defense. Like Miami didn't mess around in free agency. And that's probably going to be an indication for Tua that, like, hey, I got to get it together this year or I'm done. Maybe not done in the league, right? But maybe done with the Dolphins. Or, they bring some competition in. Dolphins want to get to the top. I think it's going to be very hard. It's unfortunate for them because they hit Brady. And now they're hitting, the Josh Allen craze in Buffalo. Tua has top two wide receivers. If he can't do anything in that, he isn't their future quarterback. I agree with all the talent he has around him on offense. It's just he's got to step up and make plays this year. Any other questions, guys? Throw them in the chat. If not, we're going to sign off here again for the Nerfy. We'll be doing that at 1 o'clock. So we'll come on about 1:05. The game starts at 1:10. So get ready for that. We are going to Nerfy the Twins game. It's already locked in. So make sure you check that out. 1 o'clock should be a lot of fun on there. And other than that, make sure you join Cold Hard Football Facts. Check out our stats, guys. Start your free trial today. You can see what a sample like game preview looks like that you get with the stats and all that. Our big launch is going to be after Labor Day. We're getting a new website and everything. We're really going to hit content hard. So we're very excited about that. Hey, thanks, Tanner. Good live. Ryan, you owe me 50 if it doesn't hit. No, I don't owe you anything. I'm in the damn trenches with you. Come on now. So yeah, David, I appreciate that, guys. It was fun. Always fun talking football. We'll be doing the show Monday through Friday. It's going to evolve too as we get closer to football season. Right now, we're just doing news and talk. I'd love to get like a call in eventually going and stuff. So we'll have more news on that. I'm Yerfy in Minnesota. Okay, you Yerfy, Minnesota. We'll see what happens. You Yerfy, Minnesota. I like the Nerfy, but you know what? It's going to be a pick'em game. It's going to be a tight one. But anyways, guys, we're going to sign off here. Hope everyone has a great day. We will see you tomorrow for another episode of the Cold Hard Football Facts Show at noon. Make sure you check out Win the Day at 10 on TikTok as well. And then also make sure you tune in for that Nerfy at 1 o'clock. What time next? 1 o'clock, David. 1 o'clock we'll be on for that Nerfy. We're back at noon tomorrow for this show and then 10 a.m. for the betting show. See you guys soon.
Yeah, ain't shit sweet, ain't shit funny. Look, it's blue tints on my hundreds.